Your muskie right here. Oh my gosh, that thing is, that is a perfect fish. That is an absolute.
Look at when you got the fins up on top.
Beautiful. You can let her go. Thank you for biting, Boots. Woohoo! This is your fish. Say something.
Hey, the first muskie I got up here. Great.
Alright, hey there, good morning fellow wanderers. This is Haight's Wanderings. Today we got a cool video coming at you. This is one of my favorite trips from 2020, and I think there's not a better time in the world to send it out to you guys. As you guys know, I'm a teacher, and today was a snow day. We are getting somewhere between 5 to 10 inches of snow. I'm sure there's more in other places. And the winds and the cold, oh my gosh, I'm sure, I think it's going to hit negative 35. So cold and snow, and I thought to myself today, what better time than to take you guys on a trip through, just to take a trip through some of the most fun that we had in 2020. So in this video you are going to see two anglers. We have Tim and we have Al. Tim and Al are from Illinois, and they are both seasoned anglers. They are great walleye fishermen. They have been fishing in Canada for years. I believe decades. They've been fishing for decades in Canada. And this last summer, with the borders being closed to Canada, they chose to come to the Upper Peninsula instead of going all the way to Canada. And we had an absolute blast. They had never really fished rivers before. They'd never really fished for smallmouth before. They'd never fished for muskie before. And so I took them out and we did all of those things. We had 6 days on the water, and it was a tremendous amount of fun. One of their goals for their trip with me was to experience as much remote water as they could, and so they asked me to do different rivers on every single day of their trip. Not just different sections, but different rivers. So it kind of pushed me to figure out where we could go and what we could catch in that time frame, those 6 different days. And it ended up being a great opportunity just to see over nearly a week of time checking out so many different cool places. Some of the rivers were wide, some were narrow, some were deep, some were shallow. Some rivers were up in water, some rivers were down in water. And so we really kind of went through the whole gamut of different experiences. The best day of fishing, Tim and Al combined for 26 fish from 45 bites. I like to keep track of both the number of times that we get a fish to bite and the number of fish in the boat. So I'm pretty sure the best day was like 26 for 45. So we could have, if we had perfect accuracy, caught 45 fish. Throughout their time, Tim and Al each gravitated towards a different style of fishing and what they felt comfortable with. Tim became a connoisseur of the topwater bass lures, and he would throw it most of the day, each day, while Al, on the other hand, Al became really, really proficient with a Ned rig hook that was embedded into a paddle tail fluke. I believe it was a fluke. And so those two styles, one of them fishing subsurface, one of them fishing on top, we were able to cover a lot of water, and we had just so much fun. As I was saying, they were really, really knowledgeable about fishing walleye in Canada, and they told me a story about how in a week's worth of time in Canada they went through 1,000 night crawlers, which tells you they were catching a lot of fish up there, which is just great because my walleye knowledge out of lakes is low, while my river knowledge is fairly high, I think. And so it was cool hearing their stories. They go back a long way, and hearing stories about them catching walleye and how they do it, and then showing them the tactics that I would use in much, much smaller systems. At some points, we were going through rivers that were no more than 20 feet across. With the tag alders that were pushing in on both sides, we were going through stretches at some points that were so narrow I couldn't row with my raft. I actually had to pull in the oars, and I used the raft oar like a paddle. That was how narrow some of the stretches were. So we were in the narrow stretches. We also got to wide open expanses, and we made it happen. Some of the days the fish were not cooperating as well as they could have been, but we made it happen.
This might be the prettiest river.
It is.
It is.
I've never heard of the river.
Make sure it stays that way. You know, people ask you, where'd you fish? Well, we didn't catch anything. I think we were in Wisconsin.
Al and Tim both said their goal was to catch a muskie. And we actually only targeted muskie one day. Out of the entire 6-day stretch, we only targeted muskie once. And Tim actually started and ended his muskie career in 3 casts. 3 casts for muskie, and he picked up a 40-plus inch fish. It was quite amazing. He cast out, he was reeling in, I looked and I saw there was a muskie. He pulled the lure out of the water before doing the figure 8. I told him to throw it back in. He did a figure 8. The fish bit. He pulled it out. He tossed it back out again. He did another figure 8. The muskie was still chilling right there, not going anywhere. The muskie hit, instantly get it into the net, and as soon as we got the picture with that fish, Tim says, "Well, I'm done." And I was like, "What do you mean we're done? We're like, the day just started." He's like, "I'm done muskie fishing." He's like, "I've done it. Now I want to catch some more bass." And so we went on and to catch more bass. He actually ended up picking walleye, bass, and muskie on that day. So that would be a freshwater grand slam. I think he might have caught pike that day. I'm not sure. But definitely throughout their trip, they caught pike. Al, on the other hand, never targeted muskie. He just fished for whatever bit. And one of those days we were going down a really remote swift, clear system, clear water system, rocky, really rocky system. And I had told the guys, like, you know, there's a chance of catching muskie in here. It's not a good chance, but it's a possibility. Mostly we were just there because it was beautiful and we were trying to catch smallies. And so throughout the day, we're fishing. Near the end of the day, we get to a really pretty stretch. And I was telling the guys a story about how a snapping turtle had once actually tried to eat my smallmouth in that exact spot. And he casts out, hooks into a fish, and it's definitely not a smallie. Gets it in, and it's a, I don't know, like a 30, 32-inch muskie, which was beautiful for that body of water. Clean, clear fish, and the greatest thing is he caught it on like 20-pound test, because we were fishing for smallies. It was this tiny little paddle tail. The fact that it got right into the corner of the mouth, everything just came together and made it so special. It was awesome taking out new anglers that have never fished rivers and showing what kind of cool experiences are to be had. Throughout their time, we got to different stretches of water, and one of my favorite moments with Tim was when we were anchored right beneath a little riffle, and there was this little rock island. There's this fast water on the right. I'm out of the raft because I know they're going to catch fish and I'm ready to net the fish. They're both casting, and I tell Tim, I'm like, hey, you're gonna get blasted. You need to get a cast over there past the fast water, because the fast water's going down through the middle. You need to get past the fast water, and as you're bringing it back, as soon as your lure hits that fast water, boom, you're gonna get smashed. And so I'm telling him this, and I'm talking him through it, and I'm in this video I'm gonna show you, narrating it like it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and then bam, a big smallie comes up and cranks his lure right like I said it was gonna happen. Tim is fighting this fish in the current. It's a big smallie. I mean, it's giving him everything he has.
Yeah, right there. Keep coming.
Al is in the background, and
right there.
Al is like,
She's gonna hit right there. Boom, boom, boom.
Encouraging words to Tim in the front. They're just a really great combo, helping each other out.
17 for 31.
For morale. And
it
was so cool.
That was insanity right there.
We get that fish in, we get a picture, let it go on its way, and 10 minutes later we have another crazy thing happened where Al is fishing in 20 feet of water directly under the raft, and he's jigging, catches a fish, brings it up, and Tim is fishing in the front with the top water, and Tim's like, I can't catch any fish. We're in 20 feet of water. What am I going to do? So he's just kind of like sitting his lure right up in front, off the front, his top water, not expecting anything to happen. When a fish comes up, hits his lure, and he catches it. I think we had a double right there.
There.
Beauty.
Beautiful.
Beauteous.
I'm letting her go, okay?
Oh, absolutely. How many pictures am I going to take of holding up bass? Or exactly. You said it was a 20-foot hole here, right? So what I did was I dropped this line all the way down as far as I could.
Oh, yeah?
And then I just wiggled it.
Seriously?
Seriously. I'm serious. That's exactly what you said.
So you vertically jigged.
I tried that, but my lure won't go down.
Exactly.
So you mean you listened to what I said? Oh! Okay. Can you open your bail?
Yeah, okay. That's 20.
No, that's 21.
Oh yeah, that's 21. Hey, no matter what you say, I'm making fun of you guys, and I thought that's it.
Where did you catch this thing? Really?
I had it sitting on the surface. I said my lure could go down 20 feet. He hit it right there. It's going like this. He come up and hit it.
That's the fun of fishing in remote places, is you get fish that sometimes are not as wise to lures and shenanigans as maybe lake fish are. At one point, we caught a super specimen of a smallmouth.
That is
Huge.
Huge. Oh my gosh.
It's a smallmouth.
That
That's gotta be
is
over 20 inches.
what's called a football. You see how
Yeah.
it's huge? See that belly on that?
Yeah.
That is what they call football smallmouth.
Really?
That is a perfect fish.
Wow.
That is a perfect fish.
In this really narrow, grassy area, and the smallmouth spit up a entire crayfish that looked like it maybe had died like 5 minutes earlier. It was completely preserved. I wouldn't have been surprised if it would have popped up and jumped off my hand. It was so fresh. As we went throughout the days, we started creating little jokes, inside jokes, because we were on the water for 6 days and we were with each other probably about 12 hours a day for each of those 6 days. So I can't do that kind of math in my head. 6 times 12, what does that come out to be? 72, maybe? And 72 hours in 1 week. It was a long week, but we had a lot of fun. And so we started creating these inside jokes, and I told the guys about places to cast. You know, wood is good, foam is home, and boulders are holders. And so they started identifying on the river like, oh yeah, there's a boulder, that's going to be a holder. And after a couple times of catching fish in those spots, they started to try to come up with new like rhyme schemes for different locations. And Al would catch a fish every single beaver entrance, every single one. He would catch a fish. And when I talk about a beaver entrance, you know, so we have the river going this way, and periodically you're going to have beaver canals that come in to the river. It's where the beavers kind of dug out little paths and they go back in to do whatever beavers do. So on one stretch of river, I swear we went by 50 of these beaver entrances, the beaver canals, and every single time caught a fish in them. Well, maybe not every time, but we had a lot of success in those spots. So Al and Tim try to start coming up with these ideas, and they're thinking beaver canals, blah blah blah. Well, what rhymes with canal? Well, that doesn't work. And finally we hit upon
That's a good one.
Beaver Fjords
Wow.
win awards.
Does anyone want to say beaver paths are, what was it? No, beaver fjords.
Win awards.
That
That's
is
nice.
right there. I got video going right here. Beautiful.
Beautiful
And every
fish.
time, every trip after that, when
I gotta say,
I
this-
went by one of those beaver
this one
canals
might be
in my
fatter than
head,
that
I
one.
was thinking, yep, that's a beaver fjord. And again, some of the most fun about doing these trips is not the fishing, but it's the social interaction. That's meeting new people, making relationships, and enjoying that time catching fish together, hunting for fish together. Not every day is a day where you're going to catch 25 smallmouth. Maybe you're only going to catch 5 smallmouth one day. But if you can have fun doing that, then that is what it's about. I hope you guys enjoy this style of video that I've been doing, where instead of just montage music in the background, I tell a story to you as you watch the footage. I hope that Tim and Al, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I look forward to fishing with you guys again in the future. And for all the rest of you, I hope you guys are having a wonderful winter season, and hopefully you guys are thinking about open water. We got like 3 months. Like I said, we got snow. Right now I'm looking out the window. It's snowing, it's cold, -35 is coming, but sooner or later we're going to be back out there, open water, and targeting all of those warm water species that you guys love to catch, or that I love to catch. I know that. I love to make the videos as well. Alright guys, as always, catch, release, wander. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. That would be super cool. If you didn't like the video, let me know down below. What about it maybe wasn't to your fancy, and I'm always trying to improve. Every single time I try to make better quality content, and let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, as always, catch, release, wander. I'll see you guys in the next one.